I'm going to call the Main Street Board meeting to order. It is 3:59, so we will go ahead and get started just a little early. But we'll go ahead and we'll start with roll call. So we'll start on this end and we'll work around and take roll.
Bradshaw here. Amison here. Hudson Connors here.
Denise Scott.
Carol Sutherland.
Manuel Pasillas here.
Okay, we've got a full group. I like this, and this establishes our quorum. All right, so next do we have it? We do not have anyone present at this meeting today, so we do not have any public comments. Am I correct on that? Okay. So what we will do is we will go ahead and move forward to consent items. Board, you received the minutes from our last meeting. Is there any discussion, corrections, or additions to the minutes? So if there's not any corrections to the minutes, do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I move that we accept the minutes from the last meeting. I second that.
Okay. All in favor of accepting the minutes as written, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the minutes have passed and we will accept the minutes as written. Good job, Jennifer, for all of your work with that. All right, we have an action now. We have had one board member, Brandon Davidson, that had to resign from the board due to work conflicts. So what I'm going to need from everyone here is to accept his resignation. And so do I have a motion to accept Mr. Davidson's resignation from the board? I need a motion for that.
I move that we accept Brandon Davidson's resignation from the board.
Second.
All in favor of accepting the nomination to accept Brandon's resignation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We have accepted Mr. Davidson's resignation to the board. We now have two openings that we will discuss later on in the meeting. So next we have Miss Carolyn Stout, if you would like to present your director's report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I appreciate that. I am presenting you my March director's report. Let me grab it real quick. Okay. So, in my March recap of February, we had a very successful concert on the 20th of February. With the Dexter Row Band headlining and Queen Kiwi as the intro act. Very well attended, about 225 attendees by the time we wound up with everybody in there. And the reviews have really been amazing. We got a number of attendees who were merchants downtown that hopped on their social media accounts and really were very kind to us about that concert. So super excited about that initial launch, and we learned a ton of stuff through that process. We also obtained a number of items into the Main Street city storehouse, basically, that we will not have to purchase again through that. So like tablecloths and decor items, we've got all of those. We bought totes for those. Those are stored out at the Main Street barn out by the library. So I was excited to add to that, and that will be expensed when we have additional concerts that we will not have to purchase. So that was a really big win, I thought, for us. Our advertising relationship continues with County Line Magazine as it has over the last number of years, but that will end in May. She is retiring that publication. And so we will be looking at additional advertising opportunities for the city of Winsboro and for Winsboro Main Street. Our Main Street Facebook data is up 16% with about 223,000 views in the last 30 days. I'm giving y'all a 30-day recount now rather than a 90 because I feel like every 30 days we're doing something substantial and we're seeing really the Facebook activity from that. For our little town of 3,400 to have 223,000 views is pretty amazing. Our interactions are up 27%. In the last 30 days, we had 16,000 interactions with our posts. So they have either commented or liked or loved or shared those things. Our net followers at this point are up 147%. We're at 5.7 thousand. So we have got some pretty good reach at this point. And I'm pleased about that progression, with the largest demographic being 35 to 44 years old.
And thank you for all your live videos.
You are most welcome.
That is very,
In fact, this morning at 7:30, I was down at Brave Nutrition, down south of Sonic, in that strip, spotlighting this individual entrepreneur. And y'all, it is a family business. It's an Herbalife energy drink and meal replacement shake business that she's opened down there at the end of that square. And she had her little maybe 7-month-old baby in a carrier in the back, and she's making drinks as fast as she could go. And there were a number of people in there this morning, so it was nice to see really a grassroots business. She's been open since October, and we're really trying to support her and really raise awareness for her. And Sophie Rose is a delightful store if y'all haven't been in. I did a live on her yesterday and was able to meet her business partner, and they are running not only the retail front to that store, but they also have a real estate business. They're real estate partners. So that's really a nice business to add to our downtown. We have got priorities for our Q2 this year, obviously, are Bloom 2026, which is Bloom Big, Dream Bigger. And we're excited to partner with them downtown. We are hoping in Q2 to begin our movie series. After the concert and the expenditures that we've had, we're going to have about $4,800 in event money to last us until the end of September. So we're going to be pretty judicious with how we do that. I had hoped to be able to do 6 movies. They are $375 a piece, so we obviously won't be able to do 6. But if we can do a couple, it'll be a good precedent to set down there on the Bowery.
a good start.
Exactly. It's a place to start. We are looking at hosting a downtown Independence Day parade. And really this month, I would like us to focus on building the committee for that parade and get some input. I know that Bigfoot RV is interested. They're interested in Misty is interested in being on that committee. I want to invite her into that since they're a new business particularly, and get some fresh ideas and get that parade planning started so that we don't have to do any last minute things. We're going to explore partnerships for activities including Winsboro on Wheels. We've got that we're looking at that for Q3 of this year. I met with the Autumn Trails Board last night. I went and sat in on their board meeting. They would like our second concert of Winsboro Live to be on October 10th, that weekend, that 10th, 11th weekend, which I told them was fabulous because that was my birthday weekend. So that would be wonderful to do that. And they would like us to do it at the Jack Cross Pavilion, which is a different way to think about putting on a concert out there. So want to kind of talk with y'all and talk through that process, whether we want to do that as an open air concert or if we actually want to use the Civic Center. So we'll be talking through that in the coming weeks as to what that's
Because I
gonna look
think that would be good to have a plan B,
like. Absolutely.
yeah,
For
for
an-
rain or something.
Yes, for an open air concert, absolutely. And October, we never know.
When they, have the Autumn Trails put on a concert in the past, or was that a different?
They have done it in the past, from my understanding after discussing it with them last night, but it's been in the past.
Yeah, like over 10
It's
years
been
ago?
probably 15 to 20 years ago
Okay.
that they did a concert. Yes, the distant past.
So it's more gonna be like they want like a watch concert because we're gonna dance, is that what, are they thinking of dance?
I don't really think that we could assemble a dance floor at Jack Cross because it's dirt. And if we did, I think it would be too unstable and, too rocky. If we want to produce it as and I'm just gonna call it a produced event, where we have a dance floor and we've got the band and there's lighting and we have an MC and all of those things like we did last time, I think that has to happen inside, the Civic Center. If we want to put on an open air concert, because they are doing a number of activities that day and they're all gonna be down at City Park, and we want to add a concert to that, I think Jack Cross is a good option. So we will talk about that in the coming weeks as we meet together about different things. So keep that in your mind. Rodeo season's coming. In May, we're looking at a number of rodeo events in town. I would love to see us support those in some way, maybe not monetarily, maybe at an awareness level. We're rolling it out and we're helping them publicize so that folks know that it's going on and we can draw people in. That is a really good kind of heads in beds tourism event because it's a multi-day. During Autumn Trails, we will see a number of youth rodeo events. So this is going to be more the adult rodeos in May and the youth rodeo then in October. Cowboy Weekend's coming. Keep that in mind. That last weekend of September, we're looking at Cowboy Weekend. And of course, our second Winsboro Live. That is a lot over Q2 and Q3 of this year, especially to be managed with $4,800. Please ask a
I
question.
just want to clarify, when you say Q2 and Q3,
Uh-huh.
we were talking about fiscal years earlier, so now
Yeah,
you're
we're
speaking
talking
about a
about calendar
calendar
year.
year?
Yeah.
Okay.
Q2 and Q3 are calendar year. And our fiscal year, just for clarification, will end at the end of September. That's when the city's fiscal year ends. And we pick back up with the 2027 budget October 1. So we want to be pretty judicious, and we want to use as much of the 2026 budget and not touch that 27 budget because we want to do even bigger things in 27.
Get it straight in my head.
I know, it's so hard to keep it all straight. I know it. And, I should do like calendar Q2 because really and truly when I had a budget meeting today and I was like, help me understand. And so we're working real hard to make sure that the money is spent the way we need to, and really increase awareness about Winsboro and about the events that are going on here. So that is my director's report. Do y'all have any questions for me? Okay, I will let you continue. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stout. All right, we're going to move on to our new business, and we are going to talk about, we have an action to approve opening applications for 2 vacant Main Street Board members. Now, these are applications you've not received yet?
No. Do we want to go ahead?
Oh.
Do we want to go ahead at this time and pursue obtaining 2 more board members?
That is the action.
Yeah.
So, since we have accepted Mr. Davidson's resignation, and that we already had 1 opening before that.
Yes, from Ms.
So we
Lemon.
have 2 vacant openings, so right now I need a motion from the board to approve accepting applications and getting those 2 vacant positions filled as soon as we can. So do I have a motion? to approve applications?
I make a motion to approve, the receiving applications for 2 new board members.
Beautiful. Do I have a second? Okay. So all those in favor of approving applications for the 2 vacant Main Street board members, applications, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, the motion is passed, and so we will move forward and accept applications for the 2 vacant Main Street board members. All right?
I will start sending those out next
Beautiful.
week, and I will publicize on our social media page that we are accepting applications for 2 vacant positions.
Very good. And that's very exciting to get those filled, and then we can have even more friends up here. That'd be great. All right, so we're going to move on to the discussion of Bloom 2026 decoration and budgeting. This is coming up between April 11th and the 25th. And so what we would like is, from the committees, I think we've talked about that before, begin thinking about what we want to do for Bloom. Do I have any ideas you'd like to present or think about for Bloom?
Does that
all happen at
the committee level?
Well, it can happen at the committee level. I know the last meeting we talked briefly just about it. Is there any ideas on, I know you had some ideas.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and I priced them out, and so, my idea was that the corner of, Broadway and Main is, a perfect place for us to be drawing people in, to the idea of Bloom, because otherwise it's kind of, a lot of things that we see in Winsboro are behind closed doors. All the beautiful things are closed off to, that traffic, and so, our idea on the design committee was to do something on that corner, and I have investigated the opportunity to do signage, and we're very budget conscious, and so the kind of signs that I was anticipating were similar to the signs that people use for elections, the kind that are stiff, like those that stick into the ground, but these would be larger than that, and they would attach to the cyclone fencing. They're on the corner. And I've talked to a couple sign companies, and the practical matter is that those would be kind of weatherproof, and they could be full color, and so I think that we'd be able to use them for more than 1 year. And what I've designed is what look like seed packets, where we'd have six of them is kind of my idea, maybe 4 on Main Street and then 2 on the corner going on to Broadway. And they would look like, a seed packet where we've had a full color picture of a flower, and then blue bonnets, whatever, spring flowers, I have some drawn out. And we can do 6 of those at 48 inches tall by 32 inches wide. We can do 6 of those for $320. So, and that's like, the whole thing would have all of the, whatever graphics we want to put on it, the full color, and they could also do grommets in them so that we could attach them with zip ties to the fence. Yeah, I'm imagining that maybe next year we add a couple more, and, because it's something you could add to, just do different ones and add to them and have more, and even put them other places in town. If that becomes our Bloom's theme, we could definitely use them again.
So if we set $350 for the budgeting for that, do you think that's sufficient?
I think so. I don't know what taxes, I don't know how that works.
Okay. I would be comfortable if we set $400 as the budget for our Bloom expenditures. How do y'all feel about that?
Is that gonna mean that we can't do something, did anybody else have a plan for other decorations or participation?
Well,
No, oh.
go
I was
ahead.
just gonna say, we got a lot of feedback during the concert that the business owners on 515 are not feeling as much a part of what's going on downtown. I was just thinking it'd be a good idea if we took your idea and miniaturized it and shared it down the businesses for 515 too.
Oh, I agree. I think absolutely. I would love to do that. I've just been struggling with the idea of, smaller signs. We could do smaller signs, definitely. And like the smaller size for, like the campaign size. Those can be really inexpensive, but they're much more reasonable if you do them in groups. And so like one sign is $20, but 50 signs is, is $8 each kind of thing. So I'm not sure what budget we have to include, but we could definitely, and I think exactly, get right down there on,
Or
The
even if we
road.
even if we ask maybe, 5 or 6 businesses on Broadway, is it okay if we put something in your window? So it doesn't necessarily have to be a yard sign, but it could still be the same design, but have it, instead of having it in the grass, have it on their window, and then, because I know that we're all on the same page, we want all the businesses to feel part of the,
well, maybe it could be a
community.
poster.
yeah.
Yeah.
But still, full color printing is pretty pricey.
It's getting pretty pricey, and we're actually, with Bloom, on that committee, we are asking businesses to decorate, what they do best, like Ashley's Flowers and the Scott's Pharmacy is always wonderful every season, and that I know there is attention to really seek all of the businesses in Winsboro to participate for that. It would be fun if you could have an extension of what you're doing on the corner, maybe on another corner, and that we are working together both places to try to include each. And so,
Carolyn, would it,
what stand by. We are trying to do something a little different than posters, and I am still waiting on some prices to include, but there are things, because posters haven't always been,
well received, or?
exactly. And so we do have a plan, and we're just trying to see about cost to do some, a fun little sidewalk, something for everyone. But we'll see how that works out. But if it's one of them, if we can encourage businesses to put Bloom 2026 in their own window, because like Ashley's may have a very special way to do it, and that, or Dairy Queen may do something with ice cream. I mean, it's just so if we can encourage all businesses to maybe think of something for spring that they can put Bloom 2026, that would save everyone a little money, but it also puts it in their marketing, because they're marketing their business. And so it is something to continue to have conversations about, of what we can do. I like if we have several stops, like if we have that corner, and then we maybe do something at the
What about is it the Veterans Park is the one right there across from the bank?
With the plaza.
One more, yes. I mean, that would be neat if we,
Or,
I don't know if we're allowed to, but.
have you ever had a contest, so that, to give a prize to the best decorated window or whatever for Bloom?
we have done that, and it is discouraged. They don't want to compete. They've done that. It is business. We did that the first 3 years of Bloom, and it is now the impression that's kind of,
Well,
it's faded. It's old.
subjective.
It's.
Everybody is beautiful in their own ways. so it's hard to pick
Exactly,
one
and
or
they
something.
don't want to compete, they want to work together. And so that is, we thought about spinning it, what I really wanted to spin was more highlighting the businesses that want to participate. And that's where we were thinking of finding a way to highlight all those businesses and highlight that they did decorate and say thank you. And that's more kind of what we were thinking about doing for that.
We want to put a campaign sized sign of your design, would you like to buy a set of those to distribute to the businesses on 515 and South Main and that sort of thing that are participating? Is that something y'all would like to budget for,
In addition to the banners?
in addition to the seed packets on the corner of 11 and 37?
I like what Denise was saying, instead of handing businesses something, have them do their own individual lies. But I also really like what Jennifer said about having it on a corner. So if we're able to do something similar to a campaign sign and put it at Memorial, is it?
Memorial Park?
Yes. That way there's, on 37 and Broadway, there's a corner, and then on 515 and 37, there's a corner. I think that might
We would just need to check the
bring
code
it together.
to make sure that that would be allowed.
Yeah, that would be the only reason.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
And then we have, I mean, it's, I don't know how much that's gonna cost. I don't think, I mean, I know, all I know, the only reference point I have is that one sign for a campaign is like, and that's like the normal size, is like $20. Not bad, but like if you're gonna do several to
Right.
make it have
It
an
gets
impact,
costly.
it gets costly right away. Or you can have, a number of different ones, you have a bunch, but then they're $8 each, but I don't know, I think you have to order 30 to get that price break. And so, it's like, you're still gonna be into a couple, and hundreds of dollars to get some impact and to get the cost savings. So like, do we wanna do that, or do we wanna think of a different way,
right.
of printing and putting something out? I just don't know. The nice thing about those signs is that they're full color and they're weatherproof.
Right.
Weatherproof. And so when spring rains come or a decent amount of wind, you're not, losing your whole decoration.
Right. So do y'all want to approve a budget and have the design committee work on that?
Just throwing this out there, if we have a limited amount of money to spend, I like the idea of the bigger posters on the corner, actually on Main Street, and focus on that. as a
Maybe we do
main
that this year and we do the additional signage next year. We go ahead and budget for that at the beginning of next year, that we'll know we'll have that money set aside.
But also, I recommend the committee talk to the Bloom Committee as well, so that they may have a coordinated effort in a couple of their plans that they are working on
I think that's a
for that.
fantastic idea.
And then they can work together, because I know there's a couple of ideas that they were looking at as well.
Okay.
And so if there could be a work together, because I agree with Dawn, and it is the committee's wish as well to include all businesses, not just downtown.
Right.
And so, and that has been talked about. So let's get those two committee people together.
So do y'all want to set a ceiling at 450? And
year.
for this year? And if we come in under, great. But if you need it, we'll have that $450 set aside for this.
Beautiful.
Okay.
All right, so what I'm hearing, we're gonna set our budget for Bloom at 450. Now, is there, I know that we ran in across the other, is there a plan of how we want to keep our budget? We discussed at one time how you may want a plan of how it's going to be spent and receipts.
Just basically stay in communication with me when, and, provide receipts, there can be reimbursement, or if we are gonna have these seed packet signs printed at a printer, I can pay for that.
Directly.
Out of my budget and
Okay.
with them as a vendor.
Okay.
If we decide to go up and over, I mean, David and I certainly will donate, that sort of thing, we can do that. It's manageable.
Yes, okay.
Are we a 501c3 as Main Street?
We are not.
Do we
We're
have,
just a governmental entity.
I don't know, do we have have to make a motion to create a Bloom committee?
No,
We have a
it's
design-
under your
our design
committee.
Committee is working.
Oh, under
It's-
the design committee.
Under the design
Okay.
committee, my comment was more your design committee to communicate with the Bloom committee, so
It's with the art.
with the
Yeah.
Winsboro Center of the Arts.
Yeah.
And so work together with that.
And it just so happens that your board's chair.
On that.
So I have a question, I want to finish with Bloom. Is Bloom a Main Street, or is it are we,
It's a Winsboro Center of the Arts, it's a community event. And so what Bloom is it is a collection of events celebrating spring. And so, Winsboro Center of the Arts has a set of activities starting on April 1st and ending on April 25th. One of them is an art and heritage walk, which they are pairing with the Historical Museum. And we'll be doing a walkabout downtown, showing off windows, and the museum is doing QR codes for histories of certain buildings in the area and some of the stories of Winsboro. And so it's just a celebration, and it is a way
we're
of
just collaborating?
collaborating with them, yes. And it is a way of tourists bringing in. There's also a mighty fine pickleball tournament, and there will also be a nice color walk with the Children's Advocacy Center. There is a high school competition, art competition at the WCA at that time. There's all sorts of variety of events, and then if others come up with things that we're happy to, but it's just a fun time that everybody can celebrate spring, that we are trying to drive tourists into Winsboro.
So you said something is April 1st, but Bloom is April 11th through the 25th.
April 11th through the 25th, yes.
And there's gonna be a beautiful, sculpture,
Yes,
living sculpture down on the Bowery, done by the art of Chris Brown.
yes.
That will be
Yeah.
absolutely gorgeous, and it's an interactive sculpture.
Interactive, and it'll be right there where the Christmas tree is
That's
going
right.
to be. Yes.
So it's gonna be a
His
cool
store,
thing.
if y'all've not been in his store is really, it's little, it's so cute though, I mean, it's just.
It is magnificent in there, isn't it?
I got a amaryllis plant.
Oh, yes.
Is producing in water, it's the cutest little stuff.
And he
It's
does
very good.
flowers too.
Yes.
Yes,
He's really good at
everything.
flower arranging.
yes.
So that is what's in April. And then the next big festival is the Book Festival, which is in May 1st. So anything that we do will just on top of everyone. And then we're into the rodeo season, which we're already into spring. We clean that up and we move on to our next activity, which is 6.3, discussion of the Independence Day activities, the vision and scope of what we want to do for the parade. And,
Chair, I think we need to go back and if we're gonna approve the $450.
oh, do we need to approve the
Would you-
450? Okay,
Yes.
all right. Pardon me. Thank you. I love that. All right, so what I need is a motion for approval of a budget of $450 for the Bloom 2026 event.
I move that we approve the budget of $450 for
I-
the Bloom
I
2026 event.
And I have a first and I have a second. All in favor of approving the budget at $450 for the Bloom event, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion is passed. All right, thank you, Jennifer. And now we are back to the discussion about Independence Day activities, vision, and scope. Of what we want to do, or specifics, or do we send this one back into the committees and work on the Bloom? How would you like to proceed with the,
I would love
Great.
to have the complete advisory board buy-in to the idea of a Fourth of July parade, and talk generally about Independence Day in totality, about what theme we might want to move forward with. My vision had been like a 1950s kind of family event where we're carrying flags and pulling wagons and kids are decorating bicycles. I would also like you to know if I have buy-in and approval on basically the parade route. which would be a short one. You know, emanating possibly from my parking lot or ABC, I have not talked to them yet. Their parking lot, down Main to Locust, run it down Locust and back up and possibly end on the Bowery, there. So or we could continue down to Carnegie and go in front of the farmer's market, which will be operating at 10 o'clock that morning. That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
but, well, I'm not meaning to put a monkey wrench in that, but that's really a busy area.
It's
and
It is
congested, it's very
the
congested
idea of
already.
all those cars and all those people and those little people on bicycles just makes me shudder.
So are you thinking bring them down Locust, down Walnut, and then Elm to the Bowery?
I
Yeah.
think right there instead of trying to cross the highway twice.
Yeah.
I think that's not a bad idea.
I mean, for our first run,
Yeah,
and to keep it 1950 short, especially if you have littles on bicycles.
exactly.
And, because I like your theme of back in history, because we are celebrating 250 years. And so if you could, celebrating our past, something like that, theme, and doing the bicycles or go-karts or whatever they
Yeah,
want to.
side by side.
Gotta have a
Yeah.
hula hoop.
Hula hoop.
We might ask the WCA about the vacant lot they use for outdoor activities during the cowboy music and poetry
Yes, ma'am.
gathering. That's a nice, safe spot to either start or stop. And
Okay.
then you could carry on what other
Whatever else we wanted to.
hot dog eating contest, whatever.
Is that where we start our hay bales?
Yes, that's the lot.
That is, yeah.
That would be a much safer place to start.
Are you thinking keep them north
Yeah.
of Broadway?
Then we don't have to go over 37 or 11 at all.
Right.
And close the streets, and, yeah, I think that's really wise.
Have all
Okay.
these mamas going, let's go, let's go, let's go, turning red.
Yeah, exactly. So we could take them, and we can have police support. I've already spoken to the police chief and the assistant chief about this, and they're on board with what we decide. If we stay north of Broadway, we could either start or stop in that lot and then just come down Elm and up Main to Locust and back to the lot. Would be,
Yeah, because you want people to be able to sit, and I think it would be neat if we could have some of that out that way.
so would
Might
you
be.
like, so do I have agreement that we want to do a parade?
Yes.
Okay,
I think we
Yes.
set it at 9 and not wait till 10.
okay.
8 might be a little early, but 9's.
Yeah, I don't think we'll have people out at 8.
No,
I think we would at 9. Farmer's market will be in full swing
yeah.
by 9.
That's what I was gonna say too, because there's a lot of kids that come and help their families work at the farmer's market, so they can take a break, pop over, do the parade, go back.
Go back, yeah. So y'all are good with sending this to a committee?
Yes, yes. It doesn't say I need action.
You don't need action on this. We can just send it to committee for planning.
We just need a thing, if anybody has a theme.
Small town, big spirit.
Is that what it is?
Ooh,
That's what
I like it.
I just chat GPT'd it.
Thank you, Kristen.
Woo-hoo, well, that'll go.
Uh-huh.
Small town, big spirit, and I like that 1950s theme, because I remember decorating my bicycle and being in the parade.
Yeah,
I would just love
exactly.
it if that was like a continuing thing, that the kids would decorate their bicycle. You know, going forward, if we could do a parade every year where the kids could look forward to that.
Yeah.
That would be a great goal, a great goal. Well, very good. So, on the Independence Day, let's go ahead and move those to committees, and then we will, bring those back, on our next meeting of what we've come up with on
I
that.
do wanna add one thing though.
Yes.
The chamber is having their meeting tomorrow, and, I know that they're gonna be talking about the fireworks show specifically.
Mhm.
And so I was hoping that we could all be on board helping out with, like a bounce house or helping out with, some kind of financial, either we help with the fundraising or it comes out of our budget, but,
Well, and I think getting the committees, if we can come up with ideas and actual more information, like bounce house, how much, all this other stuff, and then we can present them at the next meeting, and then that would be something that we could,
well, so, we got a couple different prices on bounce houses, and they're average between $400 to $500 for a bounce house. So, tomorrow, I think the chamber is gonna be talking about the specifics of what they want, so then we'll just get a number and then bring it back to the next meeting? Is that what you're saying?
well, and I think so, because I think we need to look about, again, how much we're wanting to spend on this. And since our parade is our main function event, we should focus on the parade. I'm just my opinion. And then if there's extra, we can, most certainly, but I think once we get our information with our committees, I think that will work. Because we have this one, and then we also have our next Winsboro Live event. We need to function. So I guess we just need to go back to our budget and just see if we're able to do it. Now I'm a little self-conscious. The book is right there.
Send it to committee, let's
We're
go.
really gonna be it's gonna be kinda unknown for a while until we figure out who we're getting for our Winsboro Live. I
Yes.
mean, we don't know if that person's gonna cost 1,000 or
Yes.
3,500, so.
Well, and if we're doing an outdoor concert, are we charging for it?
Well,
Or
and
is this-
that's
are we
yet to be
not?
determined. You know, it depends on, where the talent comes from, how much that talent costs, and what that concert's gonna look like. If it's
Yeah.
gonna be an open-air concert, we probably will not charge for it. If it's going to be another kind of more boutique-y concert like we put on last time, we would charge for it. And try to defray some of the cost.
Well, I wouldn't mind even $10 on an open concert, $10, $15 going into an open concert.
And we may ask the chamber if we can use their ticket booth, if it's an open-air concert, set it up out there outside Jack Cross.
I mean, that's an idea.
Yeah.
Which that moves us on to 6.4, which is the Winsboro Live event.
Look at
There
you.
you go.
The segue's fabulous.
Yes.
When I went to the Autumn Trails meeting yesterday, they requested the second week of October for the concert, which is the 10th and 11th. 10th being Friday, 11th being Saturday. Feedback from Winsboro Live was Saturday would have been a better day, it was felt largely, because people are trying to get off work
Yes.
and dinner and all of those things on a Friday. So would y'all want to do that Saturday rather than the Friday?
I would prefer Saturday. I don't know how everybody else.
I think so too.
Plus we'll know, like, it'll give us another data point.
Exactly. So I think we go with that Saturday. And I am already looking at entertainment. Last night, I had names recommended to me, and I thought I'd run them by y'all to see if you recognized any of them. Devin Morris was one that was recommended. The Marcus Lindsay Band, Whiskey Myers, and Brian Chance.
Are they gonna pay for part of it?
No, they're not. And so that's, yeah. So that's part of it. I'm also meeting on Tuesday of next week with Bevel Music. Chris Bevel used to own Neon Moon.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm gonna talk to Chris about local talent that is within our price point that would be good entertainment like we had at Winsboro Live, the first one. So, I'll know more after Tuesday. And I'll know more about price points too, realistic price points. Because when people start talking about $30 and $40 and $50 and $60,000, that's not something the city can bear.
It's just
As
that
all the
simple.
blood drains out of all your faces. But that's a pretty realistic price point for a lot of these bands. And we are much more in the $3,000 to $5,000 range.
Yeah, but you know, after the concert, the Dexter Row Band, he has been sharing on Facebook that he's going to all of these different
Yeah.
events. He's sharing his music on the radio. He's having like a lot of
He's gotten a lot of traction
lot of
since he
action,
played
yeah.
for us.
So it wouldn't be a bad idea if Winsboro was a springboard.
Yeah,
Like,
ex-
come
I'd
here,
love that.
test the water, you
Yeah.
know, and we'll help.
Have you a little
Send you
boutique,
along.
200 and
And then-
250 person concert, and then let's see where you go from there.
Did the Rodeo Association request a specific genre?
As far as, are you talking about Autumn Trails?
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yes.
Autumn Trails. They did not, but the natural partner with them is country and western music. And, I mean, it just so happens that that was the first one that we did. We have the opportunity with the 3 that we've slated for next year to change up. Christian music was also mentioned when I met with Autumn Trails. And there was a gentleman mentioned by Jonathan Roberts, who is a concert promoter and owns Honor Coffee, a gentleman named Warren Pay, and it's P-A-Y. I'm not personally familiar with him. I mentioned his name last night at Autumn Trails, and they went, yep, he does country music and Christian music. So I'll talk to Chris on Tuesday. Let's see kind of what, we'll all stay in touch, and let's just kind of see what we can get fleshed out with that. Ms. Sutherland, do you have a question? You seem deep in thought.
No, what I was trying to, access the memory, because it seems to me like over in Hawkins, the people that used to run the Red Rooster
Yes.
had a connection with artists in that venue. And I'm just thinking, how can we leverage the people we already kind of know in the area to find out if there's some other contacts we can make for this sort of a concert?
Right, which is why I'm meeting with Chris Bevel. His name keeps coming up over and over. I wanted to meet with him before he sold Neon Moon. I had already identified him as somebody I wanted to talk to. And then he sold it, and he is doing his music promotion full-time now. And so I think talking with him and just gathering information, we'll have a better idea about what we're looking at and about possible sponsorships that we may have to chase in order to put on a series of concerts like we want to. So we may talk to various business owners and see if there is an opportunity for some sponsorship and see what we can do there.
And I want to say, shout out to Country Ford for taking a chance on us.
Shout
That was
out to
really
Texas
awesome.
Country Ford, absolutely.
Yeah.
Bryant took a chance on us and was really the merchant that said, I'll give you some money toward this. And so, yeah, they're wonderful. And to park their trucks out there, that was fantastic for us. It was good country and western advertising, and it was also good advertising for him.
And also, shout out to the gentleman in the back, because you guys worked a miracle.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Our Public Works
Absolutely.
Department, y'all will not see Mr. Skip on camera, but he is here in attendance, and his department is invaluable. We could not do the things that we're doing without them.
We couldn't turn on the lights.
No, we could not turn on the lights without them. You're exactly right.
I mean,
And we are hosting historical architect from Main Street, Texas, from the Texas Historical Commission here in Winsboro tomorrow. And when I reached out to Skip and said, can downtown look beautiful? He said yes, and took care of that for us. And it looks amazing down there for us to bring in somebody from Austin to walk downtown. And so, thank you, Skip, thank you. Amongst his million other things
That he
he's
does,
doing.
yes.
So, he is always very quick to rush to our aid, so I'm very appreciative.
Carolyn, if we wanted to tag on to that conversation with the Texas
portion.
Yes.
Is that, what does that look like? Is it?
I am
possible for
hoping every one of you can come. He
And
is gonna
what
be in my
time?
office at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, and we are gonna be downtown, walking downtown. I've got a department leader meeting until 10, and then I'm gonna be going down to 101, and he'll be joining us there. And we'll be walking downtown and looking at the buildings and talking about things we can do and what's possible, and how to increase foot traffic and how to save any of our historic buildings that need help. So I'm very excited about having Jamie Crawley here.
I have a random question.
Yes, ma'am.
Does the city of Winsboro own the parking spaces themselves? I'm just wondering why TxDOT didn't. If it was a time issue or a money issue, or is it an easement issue?
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe TxDOT owns all of them. They are not ours.
They opted not to do them, and use time at time, and next time they come through and do it, they move it to the parking spaces. The
Awesome.
city's responsible for restriping, but next time they'll leave them.
Very cool. I know it was a pain for the business owners downtown for it to be shut down for so long, but it's so nice.
It is
It
so
was a
nice.
lot quicker than a lot of projects happen, so they did a really good job. They worked well with us, too.
Good.
Yeah, they're pretty fabulous.
Very, very good, very good. All right, so thank you all. We're gonna move on. Any other general discussion or questions that you may have at this time? Okay, well, if there's nothing else, that you would like to talk about, it is, 4:51, and I will adjourn this meeting. But I need a motion, so do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting today?
I make a motion that the meeting be adjourned.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor to adjourn the meeting today, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Then we will officially adjourn this meeting. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.